Well, we've had a bit of rain, and I have wanted to do a little video for my garden people. I belong to or participate in 4 garden groups. So a lot of what I do here is interesting to them because it's very different. It's very different from what I used to do. I have created a sort of unique little patio garden here. Somewhat elegant, kind of wild, kind of Spanish, sort of Mediterranean, all of that. And, well, where do I start? I'm just at living. Almost nothing here is familiar to me. I come from the middle part of USA where things are quite different. You know, we have a short growing period, and here we grow all year round, and I've had my share of problems with things. Well, no, actually, I could say I've been lucky, but I've had a problem with grub worms. Here they call them gallina ciega, blind chicken, or blind hen. Over here is something called, I forget its name. You know, the lady told me it was Galatea. Well, I've since learned it's something else, and the word Galatea sticks with me. The big leaf thing there. And then I want to explain something here, along with the fact that this is a very cool little sitting area for me. Night and day, even in the hot part of day. Isn't that interesting? Most of the work here is my idea, but it was done by 2 or 3 of my guy friends here. Mostly Rolando gets credit for this. But let me stand back here. I want to start with this one. Now, these front 2 little gardens have been problematic. I had caladium in here. They don't like it. It's too sunny hot for them. They're still kind of struggling, but I need to just start over. And I initially wanted to put in white rock. I decided, no, let's put in grass. So I put in grass, and the grass died because rusty peas on it. It looked great for a while. And then the rock idea I decided that wasn't a good idea because it meant I couldn't be aggressive with my planting. If something went wrong, then I had to move rocks around, and so I just decided to give those away. But what you see here, if I may show you, this is kind of an experiment that's more or less about to succeed. I have planted creeping jenny in here as a sort of ground cover, and I use it throughout. If you see over there, there's more. Creeping jenny is hard to kill, so if it gets too big, you just yank out some of it or pull out a piece or 2 and transplant it, and that's what I've done over here. All of these are transplants from one single plant. No, I think I bought 2 from Valentina, and I'm going to put some in there. All of the 6 or 7 pots like that have a few, and they've struggled. I've done this now 3 times. I think this 3rd time they're going to succeed. And the reason is I have been careless in the past. I was distracted by things and not paying attention. I wasn't watering often, and these really have to be watered 2 or 3 times a day when they're new like this. They are just transplants, cuttings from another plant, which means they have no root system ready to go. Sago palm there. An interesting, what's this called? The Dracaena marginata. I use a lot of these Lirios. Lirio has a little flower. It will come up now and then. Not a lot. It's kind of a grassy thing. And I like what's happening here. It's a kind of naturalized effect. Back in there you'll see chrysanthemum. There is, let me just come through here. It's early morning and I haven't had my morning coffee yet, so you're going to hear my voice kind of bad. Here I have Bird of paradise, it had one bloom already. These things are called bonsai. Now they are really boxwood. If you know boxwood, you recognize that. And sometimes people here call it bonsai box. Others have told me, especially in Europe, the groups there call this a cloud cut or cloud prune. This is called muñeca. Now in English, I don't know what it's called. They were really tiny when I got them, and they're growing a little big now. Of course, down here you see stuff. That's the idea. I plant lots of stuff and just hope it grows. I don't like fiddly gardens. I know this may seem that way to you, but actually it's designed or planned to be a lot more self-caring, that I don't have to mess with it. I just plant it and let it go. Now, I had planned something here in the front, and I haven't got back to that. I have an idea. I will do that maybe today. I just remembered doing that. So here you see a variety of succulents. Now, succulents aren't something that I normally do. I'm not a succulent type of guy. I think of those as little kind of piddly house plants, and I don't do house plants. But so here my garden spaces are so small, I realized that was probably the best thing to do. They're not going to get too big. I don't know the names of these things, so don't bother asking me. I won't know. Although this thing here, this is practically doubled in size already. And I am in the process of pruning it back a little more selectively. It is called Tree of Fire in some circles. This is called Dinosaur Claws. Isn't that interesting? Now, that also has doubled in size and may be something that I regret. I don't know. Others have told me these little pieces break off and form new plants. And in fact, I have probably pulled out about 20 of them. Here's an interesting thing. It's called a ficus. In the United States, this is an indoor plant. Ficus here grows outdoors all year. But this is a braided ficus. It comes from 14 different small plants. Here I have a combination of Durenta, and this red-yellow thing is called Mosaico. Now this green little grassy thing we have in Nebraska, you can buy those at Home Depot. Croton there. And this is a star palm, but the star palm is suffering. It has not grown a great deal, and I think it's getting too much sun. I have a feeling that I was told that it would take some sun, and the fact is it really shouldn't. So that's probably going to come out. I'll put another one in there of some other type. Here is kind of a spiral. I have just recently clipped everything back, so it's looking a little sad. Normally the Mosaico has a lot more red and yellow on the surface. Over here, the back part of garden, let's see, this is garden 5. The back side, you can see little treasures down inside there. And that's my purpose. Now, I have a little problem from the neighbor's tree, which drops constantly. It just has leaves everywhere, and I've decided not to let that bother me, just to let them fall. Once in a while, I'll grab a handful. You can see in the back there's a bunch. And yeah, that looks kind of messy, but is it something I want to worry about? Well, no. Not really. I might, once in a while. I need to get aggressive with it. I probably should get a leaf blower or some sort of garden vacuum, wet vac even. Here, this is an interesting garden as well. This is garden 7. First of all, let me back up. There in the front or center is something called Pachypodium. I'm told that is actually a cactus. If you look down below, look at the amazing trunk. It has grown about a foot since I bought it. No, maybe less than that, but the interesting thing about this garden is what you see here in the back, which is papyrus. If you follow me on Facebook or in the garden groups, you'll recognize that. Now, I had this before in Nebraska. It's a seasonal thing and it dies with cold weather, but is native to hot climates. None of mine ever got this big. I bought 3 plants and put them all together. They're all planted in a cluster in the back, but look how huge they've gotten. That would be, if you consider, I'm gonna say for sure 8 feet. Here next to me is Pata Elefante. That has grown about 20 inches, I'm gonna say. Notice its interesting base. Some of these are huge. Sometimes you can buy them as small plants for the house, indoor plants. They're very popular in little squatty pots. What else? That's about it. I think the secret to an interesting garden like this is to just throw in a lot of things. Just be real. Don't worry about being creative. Just buy stuff and plant it. I don't even know what these are called. That's an interesting little succulent, and that's one back behind it. I think we call this, well, a lot of people call this espada, sword, or mother-in-law's tongue, or semperviven, I don't know, some of that. I don't like to use that word because everybody uses that for everything. And not everything is semperviven, sempervivus, semper whatever. So there you have it. I won't show you back behind too much because that is construction site yet. We are going to start again soon with another little project over here and another little project over there. So that's what that looks like. Oh, and here, let me move out. I'm kind of too big for this. This is a mango tree. Isn't that pretty? I'm very, very happy with that. I have recently decided that it was not in the best, had not been pruned properly, and I say that with no knowledge whatsoever of mango trees, but it had a lot of stuff at the bottom that was just wrong, and the rest I think is good. So I'm happy with that. And there's that. Now I hope next time I give you a little tour, I can see more of this green stuff in these front 2 beds. Beds 1 and 2 really need attention. I have no idea really what to do. I think I'll put in more. Well, one, I'm going to expect the creeping Jenny to keep going, and the other is to plant more caladium. I think they will be okay if I water them better and if I pay more attention. There you go. Okay. That's all for now. And oh, over there, my neighbor has a row, a good 12, 15 feet of bamboo. I'm really happy with that. I'm glad it's on her side, though. It can be invasive.